So for anybody wondering why I didn't mention the next mutation in last week's episode on the Ninja Turtles and folklore, this is why. Sometimes some things are best left forgotten. So Thor the Dark World opened last weekend. I saw it. I just figured I'd give you my opinion on it. There are no main plot spoilers in this video, so feel free to watch to the end. Now this movie is a sequel to both the 2011 Thor movie and last year's Avengers movie, so it helps if you've seen both of those. Luckily, if you haven't seen any of the other Marvel movies, don't worry, they're not important. So the plot of this movie is that thousands of years ago, the Dark Elves try to acquire this magical weapon called the Ether, which is spelled with an A for some reason. They fail to do that, so the Asgardians take it and hide it in secret for centuries. In the present day, it's found by the little girl from Leon the Professional, Jane Foster, who actually becomes infected with it like a virus. This causes Thor, who's been busy trying to bring peace to the Nine Realms, to return to Earth to help protect and save Jane from being infected. But this also causes the return of the Dark Elves and their leader Malekith to try and possess the Ether for themselves. Also, Loki's in this movie a lot because everybody really seems to like that guy. Overall, this movie is very good. The action is great, it's very funny. All the actors from the first movie come back and they're even better than they were the first time. But I wouldn't exactly label it great, if you know what I mean. For one thing, the film has a very inconsistent pace. For the most part, this movie moves very quickly, like it's really trying to get to the point. However, there are a couple of scenes that are, for some reason, stretched out a little bit longer than any other scene in the rest of the film. And the movie throws a lot at the audience. In addition to the Dark Elves and the Ether, there's this thing called the Convergence, which is when all the Nine Realms align at once, that keeps being brought up throughout the course of the movie. They'll say something like what it is or how to stop it, but sometimes it'll go by so fast that if you miss it, that's it. It's all spoken matter-of-factly. Also, a lot of characters don't really get their due on screen. The Warriors 3 return from the first movie, and while it's nice to see Zachary Levi play somebody who isn't Chuck, they really don't do much in this film. Hogan only shows up in the first battle scene, and then after that, that's it. He basically just has a cameo. Volstagg and Fanadrill show up intermittently here and there, but once they serve their purpose in Thor's plan toward like the middle of the movie, that's it. They're done until the end. For the main villain, Malekith just spends most of his time either in his ship talking to his elves in some weird Elvish, or just standing around looking imposing. And it's a shame because Christopher Eccleston is great even under all that makeup. And after not really doing literally anything in the last movie, Rene Russo finally has something to do as Frigga, Thor's mother, only to be... You know what? Not going to finish that. Trust me. Also, there really needed to be more Sif in this movie. Because she's awesome, and I have a crush on her. Big thing this movie is missing is a unique style all of its own. I'm not discrediting director Alan Taylor's work here, but Kenneth Branagh just brought something unique and fun and different to the first movie that really isn't replicated here. Everything was big and epic and grandiose, and the humor was much more natural in it than it was in this movie. And that's not to say the movie was bad. No, this movie is very good. It's a lot of fun, and as long as you like the first Thor movie, you're gonna enjoy this one. It manages to make all the very fantastical elements that are usually in the comics believable and work in a live-action setting. And at a time when a lot of comic movies are trying to go for a more realistic take, that alone should be applauded. Just because it worked for Batman doesn't mean it's going to work for you. And after Man of Steel, and to some extent Iron Man 3 if you ask me, which took themselves very seriously, almost too serious, this is a movie that reminds us that these type of films should kind of be fun. And this movie is really fun. That's a conversation for another time. One thing I should probably bring up though, if you don't read comics or you don't follow the Marvel movies regularly, make sure you go with somebody who does. Because, you know, those Marvel things at the end of the film, one of them, there's two in this one, one of them is not going to make sense to you unless you have somebody tell you why that makes sense. If you read comics or you follow Marvel movies, you'll know what this is and it will be pretty cool. So yeah, see Thor the Dark World. It is good. Also pick up Batman 25 this week. 0 Year Act 2 begins. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Thanks for watching. And with the Ninja Turtles, you have all these comic books and video games, 3 major cartoons, 4 big screen movies, an upcoming movie that's probably gonna suck. Okay, most likely will suck.
Imagine today, you go to sit down on your couch and you open up your Xbox and you want to play Batman Arkham Origins. And then a little code pops up and you go, okay. I'm good.
Are those birds being picked up on the mic? Yeah.